Hi, I'm Sophie and this is the Studio SE6. Welcome, thank you so much for joining me today. So today I have for you a 25-minute energizing practice. Hopefully it's going to wake you up and get you ready for your day. For today's class you'll need a yoga mat, and if you're working with tight hamstrings or a tight lower back, then grab yourself either 2 yoga blocks or 2 sturdy books that are similar in size. So when you're ready, let's get started. Let's start today standing at the top of your mat, feet hip distance apart. Float the crown of the head above the base of the spine and the shoulders above the hips. Keep the knees soft and open the palms to face the front. Roll the shoulders back and down, feeling an openness across the chest. Relax the skin and the muscles of the face and connect to the breath. Breathing in and out if you can through the nose. Guide your inhale down to the belly softly and naturally expanding. On the exhale, the navel draws back towards the spine. Using your inhale to grow tall and find length and space. Using the exhale to let go of physical tension. Inhaling, shrug the shoulders to the ears. Exhaling, deep sigh through the mouth as the shoulders slide towards the waist. Walking your feet wider than your hips, keeping your knees soft. Inhale, raise the arms out to the side above the head, palms together, look to the fingers. Exhale, squat deeply back, hands to thighs, take a cat stretch here, tucking your tailbone under, navel to spine. Inhale, pull the chest up and through the arms, tip tailbone towards the ceiling slightly. Now exhale, roll through your cat stretch and all the way back up to raise the arms above the head. Let's do this a few more times, moving through this cat-cow stretch with as much fluidity as you can. And let's make this our last one here. Exhaling, curling all the way up, bring the arms back overhead, palms together, inhale. Take the hands behind you now, interlace the fingers or hold onto your forearms. Pull the chest forwards, keep the knees deeply bent, and let's fold over the thighs. Let the head go completely. If the hands are interlaced, bring in the arms overhead. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and nod the head yes and no. Now release the hands underneath the shoulders and step your right leg back. Your right knee lands behind the right hip and your knee and ankle are in line at the front. Inhale, bring yourself into your first crescent lunge. Press the palms together and take the thumbs back to the nape of the neck. Opening up across the backs of the arms as the elbows point directly towards the ceiling, keeping the chest open. Now bring the arms back up above the head, bend the right elbow and take hold of the elbow with the left hand. Draw that right elbow over towards the left and open the chest towards the ceiling, feeling the opening down the whole right side of the body. Keep the neck relaxed. Come back to the center, lean your weight forwards over the front thigh, big circle with the arms, and now let's take a twist to the left. Cactus arms here, elbows in line with the shoulders. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, swoop the arms round, hands to the floor. Tuck the back toes under and sit the hips back towards the heel, lengthening the front leg. Look towards the front and with one big push off the back foot, bring yourself back to standing at the front. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, interlace hands or hold forearms behind you. Inhale, open the chest. And exhale, deeply bent knees as you fold over the thighs. Nodding the head, yes and no. Bring the hands down to the floor under the shoulders and step your left leg back, coming into crescent lunge. Take the palms together, thumbs to the nape of the neck. Press back with the arms, elbows point to the ceiling. Take the arms back overhead, bend the left elbow, reach across with the right hand, and let's take that left elbow over towards the right. Opening up the whole left side of the body, rotate the rib cage towards the ceiling. and relax the neck. Coming back to center, take that big swoop of the arms as you lean over the front thigh. Coming back into your crescent lunge and rotate your ribcage to your right, cactus position with the arms. Inhale back to center. Exhale, hands to the floor underneath the shoulders and step back to plank. Shoulders and wrists are stacked. Lower the knees here and then sit back to your heels. Keep your toes tucked. Hug the elbows in towards one another. Hover the forearms from the floor as you pull your body forwards to the front of your mat and roll in a cat stretch back to your heels. So notice here I'm not collapsing in my lower back as I come forwards. I'm pulling straight through the crown of the head, draw the shoulders towards the waist and my elbows stay in towards my ribcage. Work to keep the forearms away from the floor and a broadness in your upper back. Inhaling to come forwards and exhaling to roll back. Last one here. Now sit back to your heels and let's change it slightly. Inhaling, come up through half plank and then bend the elbows back. Pull the chest and the shoulders forwards of the fingertips. And then exhale, come back to the heels. Move in between these two. Making sure as you come forwards that the shoulders are sliding back down towards the waist. Elbows are into the rib cage. Pelvis is level, navel draws in. And on this next one, come all the way down to the floor, roll the shoulders around the ears, slide them to the waist, lift through the chest into cobra, all 10 toes on the mat. Bring the nose down to the floor, tuck the toes, press directly up onto your knees and sit back to your heels. Roll off your knees into our first downward facing dog. Just pedaling here through the feet, finding length in the entire spine, pressing away from the hands. Spread the fingers really, really wide and grip slightly with your fingertips. Remembering the heels do not have to touch the floor. Inhaling, coming back to the knees and exhaling, sit to the heels. Back into child's pose. Keep pressing back away from the fingertips, bringing the hips towards the heels. Lifting wrists to armpits and bowing the head between the arms. Take an inhale here. With your exhale, keeping the arms straight, keep pressing back through the hands and let's lift the hips up and back to our downward facing dog. Bending the knees here if you need to find length in the spine. Let's take our right leg up in the air and press through the heel. Point the toes. Find length and bring the toes back down to the floor. Just tap the toes lightly before you flex the foot again and lift the heel back into the air, into a 3-leg dog. Keeping that leg as straight as you can and the movement as fluid as possible. Now lift the leg straight back, bend the knee heel to sit bone, curl the knee underneath the body as you lunge through the right foot to the right thumb. Stay on the ball of the back foot and lower the left knee down behind the hip. Lift the chest. Inhale, press into the ball of the back foot as you extend the back leg. Lower the back knee, stay here, and bring the heel in towards the sit bones. Place the foot back down, press into the ball of the foot and come back to a high lunge. Let's repeat. Knee comes to the floor and then heel comes to the sit bones. Really press into the ball of the foot to extend that back leg. And when you land the knee, draw it to the back of your mat before bringing the heel to the sit bones, stretching the front of the thigh. Now let's stay in a high lunge position here. Reach the right arm out in front, take a big circle as you rotate your rib cage to the right. Follow the arm all the way back round and we'll do the same thing again, staying in the twist this time, lowering your left knee, bringing your left heel to your sit bone and taking hold of the top of the left foot. From here you can turn out your right foot and knee to face the front right corner of your mat, draw your toes back and roll towards the blade of your foot, giving a little more space in the hip. Exhaling, bring the hand all the way back as you turn to the front. Inhaling, step feet parallel to the front and rise up to your mountain pose. Exhale, soften the knees and fold forwards. Inhaling, hands to shins. Pull the crown of the head forwards in a halfway lift. Find length here. Exhale, soften back to a forward fold. Step back your legs to a plank position, stacking your wrists and your shoulders. Lower the knees, elbows point back as your chest reaches forwards and you come down to the floor. Inhale into cobra and exhale, nose to the mat. Tuck the toes, press up onto the knees, back to the heels, and then to your downward facing dog. Keep the ears in line with the arms and keep pressing back through the hands. Let's get ready for the left side here. 3-leg dog, lifting your left leg into the air, pressing through the heel. Point the toes, float the leg down, just to lightly tap the toes to the mat. Inhaling on the way down and exhaling to lift. Staying connected with your breath, keeping the movement as easy as you can. And on this last one, let's lunge through. Bring in the heel to the sit bone, curling underneath, and bringing your left foot to your left thumb. Lower the back knee down, lift the chest. When you're ready, come back up into a high lunge position, pressing into the ball of the back foot. Lower the knee back towards the back of your mat, and then bend your right heel in towards your right sit bone. Moving between the two, exhaling to lift the knee, and inhaling to draw the heel in towards you. Remembering to keep the hips pressing gently forwards as you draw the heel to you. Now let's stay in a high lunge position. Take out that left arm by the ear and circle around towards the left. Open the rib cage to the left. Take the arm back round to the front, lower that back knee, bring the right heel to the sit bone, take another big circle with that left arm, stay here and reach back for the top of that right foot. Again, if it helps, then you can turn your left foot and knee out to the front left corner of your mat and roll onto the blade, just allowing the thigh to roll open a little. Keep the chest opening to the left and the shoulders relaxed. With an exhale, bring the hand back, lower back onto the ball of the back foot and step to the front. Inhaling, rise up to your mountain pose, palms together, gaze at the thumbs. Exhaling, folding forward, softening the knees, crown of the head towards the mat. Inhale, find length in your halfway lift. And exhale, bend the knees and fold over the thighs. Just let the weight of the head go. Now let's step our right leg back behind us into high lunge. Keeping the fingertips under the shoulders, or it may be handy here to have blocks underneath the hands. Rock the hips back as you begin to lengthen the front leg. Keep lifting through the chest and reaching out through the crown of the head. Now sink back towards your back heel. The foot doesn't need to touch the floor, but we're just sinking towards the mat. Inhale, come up onto the ball of the back foot, rock your weight slightly forwards. Now as you exhale and sink into the back heel, begin to lift onto the front heel. So balancing on the front heel. Inhaling, shift forwards now onto the ball of the foot, and as you do, allow the entire front foot to rest down. As you sink back to the back heel, lift up onto the front heel. Now stay sinking in the back heel and balancing on the front heel. Open your left arm up by the ear, take a big circle as you rotate your rib cage to the left and then turn back to the front. Come back down to the back knee and sit to the back heel. Push off the back foot and come to feet parallel at the front. Inhale, rise up to mountain pose. Exhale, fold forward, softening the knees, crown of the head to the mat. Inhale, hold on to the shins, find a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step your left leg back behind you into a high lunge. Again, hands to floor or hands to blocks. When you're ready, exhale, lift the hips, straighten the front leg as much as you can and rock back towards that back heel. Inhaling, shift forwards onto the ball of the back foot a little. And then exhaling, keep lengthening out through the chest as you sink into the back heel. As you sink into the back heel, lift onto the front heel, finding balance here. As you rock forwards, place the entire front foot on the mat. Just moving back and forth between the two. Now stay sinking back into the back heel and balancing on the front heel. Reach your right arm out by your ear and take that big slow circle, rotating the chest to the right. Come back to the front, lower to the back knee and sit back to the heel. Push off the back foot and bring your foot forwards to the front, feet parallel. Inhaling, sit back to chair pose, weight behind the toes. Circling the arms all the way round, hands to heart center, come to standing, bringing the right knee with you. Take a big circle with that knee and then bring the foot down, come back to chair. Circle the arms around, hands to heart center, rise up, bringing the right knee with you. Circle around and come back to chair. This time as you come up, coming into tree, open out the thigh towards the right, keep the hips facing directly forwards and bring the sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh. Hands can remain at heart center or we can lift the arms like the branches of a tree. If you're not so balanced today, then maybe taking your right toes to the inner left ankle instead. Either way, drawing your left kneecap up into your left thigh so you have a strong standing foundation. Take your hands back to heart center and knee to face the front. Place the foot down and sit to chair. For the left side, let's swoop the arms back behind you and as you do, sink the hips really low. Come up to mountain pose, then hands to heart center as left knee lifts, circle around and sit back to chair. So just adding in that extra dip in the hips, coming all the way to standing, hands to heart, circle around the left knee. And now let's get ready to come into tree. As you rise up, stay standing up nice and tall. Let's start with the hands at heart center, taking that left thigh out to the left, keep the hips facing forwards and place the sole of the left foot on the right inner thigh or right inner ankle. Again, if you're balanced here, extend the arms away and reach through the fingertips. Keep the navel drawing back towards the spine and the right knee hugging back into the thigh. Finding your balance here. Bring your hands back to heart center, left knee to face the front. Place the left foot down and let's just pedal through the feet. And maybe circle the ankles, so just picking up one foot, big circles one way and the other, and then go with the other side. Place the foot back down, take a big inhale as the arms swoop out to the side, reach overhead and gaze towards the thumbs, palms together. Exhale, dive forwards here, soften the knees, allow the crown of the head to melt towards the mat. Let's take a stand in child's pose. So just hugging around the backs of your thighs, holding on to your forearms or elbows. Let the weight of the head go. Just make sure that you're not knocking the knees in, so you're not pulling the knees in towards one another here. Knees are in the same direction as the second and third toe. Inhaling here, breathing into the belly, exhaling to soften and release. Take the hands down to the floor and make your way to the middle of your mat. Keep your knees bent and your feet flat to the floor. Take hold of the backs of your thighs and lean back slightly towards your tailbone. Draw the navel in towards the spine and try not to collapse into your lower back. Keep the chest lifting as you lift one leg and then the other to 90 degrees. Maybe for an extra challenge, taking the arms away and reaching for the front corners of your mat. Keep the chest lifting. Either holding the backs of the thighs or staying where you are, try to straighten one leg, point the toes to the ceiling. Bend the leg back and straighten the other leg. Do the same thing again, or see if we can straighten both legs, hugging the knees, the thighs and the feet in towards one another. Reach through the toes. Bend the legs back and hold on to the backs of the thighs. Bring the feet down and curl over your thighs, hugging around your shins. Take one breath in and one deep sigh out through the mouth. I'm just going to turn my position here so you can see me more clearly. Staying seated, taking your left heel in towards your right sit bone. Holding on to either the inner arch of the right foot or the blade of the right foot. Lifting the right leg so the knee bends back towards the armpit. Keep the chest lifting and then reach out through the ball and the heel of the right foot as you extend the leg out to the front corner of your mat. Only straightening the leg as much as you can with the chest remaining lifted. Holding on to your ankle or your left knee, or even propping yourself up with your hand by your left hip. Keep a softness here in the right elbow and the shoulders relaxed. Keep lifting up through the crown of the head. Coming back to a cross-legged position, so taking your right foot in front of the left, either heels in line or crossing the ankles or the shins. Making sure you're sitting up here on your sit bones and reach your fingertips to the front. Keep your arms shoulder distance apart and your shoulders are relaxed. Walk your hands as far as is comfortable in front and just bow the head down by softening the forearms, keeping a gentle, even rounding in the spine. Inhale, lift the chest, pull the chest forwards and come up high onto your fingertips. Exhale, soften the elbows and fold forwards. Let's do a few like this, so just moving with the breath, moving like a wave. Rolling up on the inhale, finding length here, draw the shoulders back and the chest forwards, and then on the exhale, softening the forearms and releasing back down towards the mat. Now walk your hands back in and let's get ready for the other side. Your right heel into your left sit bone, and take hold of the sole of your left foot. Bring the left knee in towards the armpit, take the leg slightly out towards the left, and then when you're ready, extend just as much as you can, keeping nice and long in the spine and sitting directly on your sit bones. Try not to roll back here to your tailbone. Soften the elbow and the shoulder on the left and allow the shoulders to slide back and down. Feeling the stretch in the left inner thigh and down the back of the leg. Let's start to bring that leg back through to the center, crossing the left ankle over the right, or again, heels in line here. Reach the fingertips in front, finding that length. Inhale. Exhale, soften the forearms towards the floor and bow the head. A gentle rounding in the spine as we begin to ripple, moving like a wave with the breath. Inhaling to lift and find length, exhaling to soften and fold. And now let's begin to walk the hands back in towards us. Once again, sitting up nice and tall. So from here, let's see if we can do both legs. So holding on to the soles of both feet through the inner arches or the blades. Lean back slightly here without collapsing into your lower back. Lift one heel, knee into armpit, and lift the other. You might like to just play around with your balance and stay here in this balancing happy baby pose. Or we can try and extend one leg and bring it back, and then extend the other leg out to the corner and bring it back. Shall we try both? So just making sure that you don't have a wall behind you here, just in case you roll back, you don't want to hurt yourself. So extending out your legs at the same time, pull your chest through the legs, finding your balance here. Soften the elbows, soften the shoulders, soften the jaw. Draw navel towards the spine. Stay lifted nice and tall. Take one more breath. And then let's bring the legs all the way back down, feet to the mat. Well done. Crossing the legs here or finding a comfortable position. Sitting directly on your sit bones. Maybe just wiggle the shoulders and the hips a little. Draw the chin down towards the chest and let's start to take some neck rolls, just semicircles across the chest from one shoulder to the other. Just allowing the weight of the head to hang, moving within your comfortable range of motion. So within your comfortable range, you still want to feel a stretch in the side of the neck, but you're not moving into any pain. Allow the shoulders to sink heavy down the back and bring in the chin back to center. Shrug the shoulders to the ears with an inhale and soften and release them with an exhale. Close the eyes or gaze towards the floor. Allow the crown of the head to float above the base of the spine and the elbows to hang heavy underneath the shoulders. The palms lightly resting on the thighs. A broadness and openness across the chest. Begin to connect back to your belly breath, breathing in and out through the nose if you can. Following your inhale down to your belly and feeling the belly softly and naturally expand. On the exhale, the navel draws back towards the spine. As you inhale, feeling a lifting through the crown of the head, and as you exhale, feeling a grounding through the sit bones. And taking this moment just to notice how your practice has helped you today. Hopefully you're feeling a little more energized and awake, ready to face the day. Now let's take a big deep breath in and a big sigh out through the mouth. Bring your hands into heart center. And thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day and I hope to see you back again soon.